Hello again, Wendy Anderson, justbe.me. And in this one, it's quite a long one, but a really interesting one that could be coming up for a lot of people at the moment. So this is around the neck. So neck is always about potentials and not knowing your or not recognizing your own potentials. So this is about the neck. So the vertebrae are C4, C5 and C6 that are involved in this one. You can test yours, so you'll be feeling kind of like this really stiff neck, and you can test which vertebrae it is. So is my C4 balanced? No. Interesting. So C4 is actually coming up for me today, which is really interesting. Is my C5 balanced? Yeah, C5 is okay. Is my C6 balanced? Yeah, so this is for me just coming up in my C4, but C4, C5 and C6 actually work in tandem together, so you could be feeling it on in all three. So I will read kind of like some belief systems and trainings of thought that are behind C4, C5 and C6, which is cervical 4, cervical 5, cervical 6 vertebrae. So with the neck and with these groupings of body parts, it's anything to do from the mouth down to the shoulders. So it's kind of like anything from there to there basically is kind of like a little bit affected. So this includes thyroid. Thyroid is obviously your energy regulation center as well, so you may be feeling a little bit tired, a little bit disempowered, a little bit disengaged at the moment. Also affects language, vocal cords, and a disharmony with communication. So you may be feeling easily offended by what others may say, or you may in turn as well kind of like have something that maybe you will be finding difficulty in expressing yourself, put it that way. So and when I do these videos as well, I may not have any problems with these body parts, but when I'm doing the video, it's kind of like it will come up before the video to prompt me to kind of like to talk about this body part. Thankfully that didn't happen with the SARS one. But however, you know, it's kind of like it's all just pathogens. My body is designed to kind of like to cope with it and heal from absolutely anything. This is the way my immune system and my body is created and made, and these are the belief systems that I carry and they serve me. So C4, C5, C6 is in self-expression. So this will react if I'm taking offence to what I've heard, leading to indignation or anger. So you'll be kind of like feeling indignant or angry towards another person that you may feel has kind of offended you. And it's try to see it differently, as that person may not have set out to offend you, but actually just kind of like give you a home truth. So it will react further if I do not express my opinions, frustrations and sorrows. So it's about expressing yourself fully. My level of aggressiveness risks rising even higher, which closes down the channel of communication with these vertebrae. So again, it's kind of frustration, sorrows, aggressiveness. So you'll be feeling all these emotions and kind of like not really wanting to kind of like really feel the aggressiveness and the sorrows and frustrations that that an experience has brought to you. So you'll kind of like just swallow it down and not really kind of want to deal with it at that point, but you'll dampen it down somewhere in the body, and it's coming up in the neck. I swallow the wrong way, whatever comes to me. So basically it's kind of like people may be giving you some valid advice or information, but you'll take it maybe as a criticism, or you'll find offence with it, or you'll get angry with it, and it's kind of like, how very dare they? oh, very, very, very dead kind of thing. And it's kind of just back up a little bit. How it was meant may not be how you've received it. I ruminate over events for a long time. So you may be offended by somebody, and you're kind of like, you ruminate over days about what somebody has said. And you'll kind of like, you'll just be thinking about it and it's kind of like overthink it and really kind of like, you know, chew it over until, you know, you're just chewing for the sake of chewing it. So this will affect mouth, tongue, vocal cords, pharynx, tonsils. So there'll be some anger and guilt there as well. So obviously if you've received a home truth about something, then we do carry anger and guilt around with us about, you know, somebody highlighting something to us, and it's kind of like, it brings up the shame and the anger about whatever situation it was. And it's to try and seek balance in justice. So this is probably about balance in justice, that, you know what, if we've done something wrong, it's time to let it go. If somebody said something offensive to us, then forgive and let it go. So it's balance in justice. Don't ruminate over it, don't carry it with you, because it will kind of like weigh your head down, it will weigh kind of like everything down. So it's kind of like, you know, pick yourself up, forgiveness, let it go, love yourself more, because you are worth more than carrying all this kind of like guilt and shame and anger and frustrations around with you. I have difficulty finding solutions because I hesitate to express my difference of opinion. So you'll be the one, and you know, it may be all kicking off, and you'll be the one kind of like just sitting there on kind of like the outskirts, just kind of like watching it all, and kind of like you've got opinions and you want to get yourself in there, but it's kind of like, I'll just sit back, because I'll just sit back with it. I cling to memories of the past. I flee my deep emotions and internalise them. I avoid looking at what is going on inside of me, thereby also avoiding flourishing. So, you know, there could be anger and guilt about maybe something that didn't quite turn out how it should have done maybe in the past. But maybe it did turn out the way it was supposed to turn out. Maybe there was a valuable lesson in the way it turned out, something for us to learn. And it may be kind of like let go of maybe outcomes, expectations and outcomes, let go of it, that sometimes things don't always work out how you expect them to work out. But just let go of the expectations, because sometimes the universe maybe delivers something beyond your wildest dreams. So let go of expectations and outcomes. And also releasing the guilt from you and the anger. Forgiving yourself is more important than anything. Let it go. You're human, just having a human experience. If whatever was in the past didn't go out the way that you expected it to do without being successful, then let it go and just think, that's what happened there. I'm leaving that in that timeline. I'm not carrying it forward in this timeline. Because what we tend to do is kind of like, oh, well, there you go, it's failed again. I told you so, that I was a bad person and I don't deserve nice things. I told you so. So sometimes it's really good to look at our guilt and our shame and our anger about ourselves and about maybe situations that maybe didn't quite turn out the way we expected. It's fine. We are worth more. Let it go, forgive yourself, move forward, create new life experiences, create new joys. You deserve it. I destroy and punish myself. So you know what we do is, see, I fail at everything. Told you so. So it's kind of like, just I sabotage happiness because I do not believe I deserve it. Yeah, because it didn't work out before. So you think, I'm a failure, I'm a good for nothing, I'm doing this project now and it'll not succeed because I simply don't deserve it, because that one failed. And it's kind of like, you'll carry the energy forward to this project and think, well, this is going to fail as well, because it's kind of like, I'm confirming to myself that I don't deserve it. So basically it's to really kind of, you can set some affirmations here and say, I choose to see the world positively. I choose to engage in new projects without expectations and outcomes. I don't expect anything from myself, but just to basically do the project that fills me with joy, and that's it. See if I will react if I resist my entourage and reject their advice. And again, you know, I'm kind of like sat here giving the advice of affirmations. Oh, you could do this, you could try this. And if you see 5 rumbling, and you can test it, then yeah, you'll be rejecting some really good advice there. I'm afraid of being hurt by words or actions. So these words in itself, you know, kind of like, I'm telling you, you know, that you haven't met expectations in the past, or you failed, or this, that and the other, and you're feeling guilty and shameful about it and aggressive about it and everything else. And it's kind of like, so the last thing you'll want to do is look at yourself in that way. And that's okay, that's beautiful, you're human. Don't forget, you're human. But you have this beautiful divine side as well, which is perfect in every way, shape or form. So we appreciate it's really hard to look at all these shadows and do this shadow work, but let's get it open, let's get it out there. Forgive yourself. I feel inferior to others, so I will build a wall around me. So yeah, so you may kind of want to put yourself within situations, within groups of people, but still you'll kind of still put yourself on the outskirts of people still, because you'll be afraid of being hurt by others. The only time when we are hurt by others is when we allow it. So please alleviate this fear. You don't have to be hurt by others. I feel nobody listens or understands me, so I withdraw into myself. I'm listening now. I'm seeing you. And you're amazing, you're wonderful, you're divine, you're beautiful, you're just having a human experience. And so what? You may have had a bad day in the past. Let it go. There are good days to come. There are good days at foot. Compromises are not possible, for I avoid taking a position. So this is kind of like fears about outcomes as well. So you won't compromise because it means that you've got control over the situation, and you'll just not compromise. I feel shame, and in many situations prefer to remain silent rather than take responsibility for what I want to express. Express yourself, whatever it is that you are feeling, thinking. Just get it out. How other people take it is their problem, not yours. So because you're feeling a little bit sensitive to perhaps what other people may say towards you, that you may be offended and hurt by it, then this in turn will stop you from expressing yourself, because you'll be fearful of hurting another person as well. It's their responsibility, not yours. Their happiness is their responsibility. Their sovereignty is their responsibility. Their sense of safety is their responsibility. They're holding no fear against another individual is their responsibility, as it is yours for your own. So C6 pain, if I want to shape others according to my needs and desires. So if the C6 vertebrae is kind of, and you can test it, you know, is my C6 vertebrae balanced, then there'll be some fears again around expectations and outcomes around that you'll be wanting to shape others into according what you need and you desire, because then this gives you the sense of safety around other people. And basically it's also actually kind of highlighting that you've got some fears around other people as well. So have no expectations about outcomes, and about outcomes of the people as well. Let them do whatever it is that they need to do. I expect too much of others instead of taking charge of myself. And again, this makes us feel safer. taking charge of ourselves, looking at our own fears, guilt, shames and aggressiveness and control systems and everything else that is going along with it. It's kind of like, whoa, that's too much to look at. I've really got all that within me, and it's kind of like, but it's on the understanding we are not our emotions. They are just energy passing through us. We are not the aggression, we are not the fear, we are not the anger. We are not the hurt even. These are just merely energies passing through us. They are not us. They do not make us. My old dreams are inaccessible. I find this unfair. Make new ones, create new ones. So what? You did the old dreams, it didn't come into the expectations. Just make a new one. Doesn't mean to say that the new one won't meet expectations either. But if you have no expectations about outcomes anyway, doesn't really matter. Fearlessly navigate into new situations and projects. It reminds me all the time I felt this injustice when I was young. So these pains will come up in the neck whenever you were a child and you felt that people didn't take notice of you, they didn't listen to you, and you felt the injustice and the hurt of not being seen and not being listened to. I feel like dropping everything, I am depressed. So again, if these kind of like the 3 vertebrae are coming up, you'll feel like, do you know what, I've just had it, I'm just going to drop everything. And you'll kind of like go into that kind of like pit of depression. So you're giving your energy away. I carry the burdens of others so much that the fact of sacrificing myself is killing me little by little. So when we carry other burdens upon ourselves, and again, it's kind of for some kind of appraisal, because we are not appraising ourselves enough internally because of whatever outcomes that happened in the past failed. So we're beating ourselves up continuously for that. So what we'll do to try and make ourselves feel better is carry other burdens, other people's burdens. That is not our responsibility. So what you're actually doing is chipping away your life expectancy little by little there. Okay, so Socrates. To know yourself, and you will know the universe and the gods. So knowing yourself and know the universe and know the gods. So the God is actually you. You are the divine creator, and the universe begins with you, starts with you, ends with you, and that is in your full knowing. I am safe in my sovereignty. Nobody can hurt me, nobody can harm me unless it's my choosing, unless it is my lesson, unless it is my experience. All is well. I am good. I will leave this one with you. So this one's quite a long one because obviously there's 3 vertebrae involved there, so I've grouped them all together because they all kind of like work in tandem with one another. So I will leave this neck pain with you, and in hope that this training of thought and these belief systems around it, that you can release these pains in the neck. So you're giving yourself a pain in the neck just by basically you've come away from loving yourself and kind of like really hammering yourself into the ground basically, and it's kind of like saying take the hammer away, take the hammer off, stop hammering yourself, love yourself even more, and then move forward into situations fearlessly. And nobody can harm you. So we shall leave that with you. Enjoy the rest of this lovely sunny day. Take care. Love you all. Bye.